That night, Ava knelt before Martha and begged her to spare her. She said she could leave the village immediately and never see Ethan again. But Martha knew that as long as Ava was still alive, Ethan would never have eyes for Sophia. So only if Ava died would Sophia have a chance. In truth, all of this had been taking root for many years before that night. Many years earlier, after her mother died, Ava had lived alone with her father, Benjamin. Benjamin was a respected and hard-working man. 2 years later, he married Martha. She was a widow and had brought along her own daughter, Sophia. At that time, Sophia and Ava were about the same age. At first, everything seemed beautiful. The two girls were inseparable. They shared everything, laughed together, played together, and relied on and protected each other like real sisters. But later, Benjamin suddenly fell ill and soon died. Some people said he had been poisoned, but no one could prove it. After his death, everything began to change. Martha slowly became cold and distant. At the same time, Sophia grew up and became more and more beautiful. But strangely, no matter how many men later came to the estate, and no matter who they had originally come for, in the end, the one who truly attracted them was always Ava. Year after year, Martha watched all of this, and the anger in her heart kept growing. Little by little, she began to drive a wedge between the two girls. She constantly implied to Sophia that Ava had stolen the attention, praise, and love that should have belonged to her. The sisterly bond they once shared slowly changed, turning from dependence into jealousy, and from jealousy into distance. Then Ethan appeared, and everything spun completely out of control. Ethan was the richest man in the village. The first time he saw Ava at the market, he was lost after just one glance. From then on, he came almost every week, bringing gifts and smiles, but his eyes were always only on Ava, as if Sophia did not exist at all. For Martha, this was the final straw. She felt that after losing so much, this orphan girl was still about to steal her daughter's last chance. So on that night, she made her decision. Ava had to disappear. She took Ava to the edge of the cliff and then pushed her down with her own hands. The next night, the gates of the estate were suddenly pounded on. Sophia ran to open the door. The moment it opened, Ethan rushed in, his face full of panic. He asked urgently, "Martha, where is Ava? I've been looking for her since yesterday, and her phone is off." But Martha came out as if nothing had happened, calm and composed, lightly fanning herself with an old newspaper in her hand. She looked at Ethan and unhurriedly told him to calm down first and sit before they talked. But Ethan could not sit still. He said Ava was not the kind of girl who would disappear for no reason. Something must have happened. He could feel it. At that moment, Sophia gently placed her hand on his arm and softly urged him to drink some water first. Martha smoothly picked up the story and said Ava had left yesterday morning and said she was going to visit her aunt in the neighboring village. Ethan froze. Frowning, he said, "Visit her aunt? But Ava never mentioned that to me." Martha let out a soft sigh and, pretending to be casual, said that young girls often had thoughts they did not always share and that Ava would come back. Just then, Ethan's phone suddenly vibrated. He looked down at the screen, and in that instant, his hand began to shake violently. It was a message from Ava. There was only one short sentence on the screen. "I'm not safe. Help me. They think I'm dead."